Me, miss? Not by a long shot.
Caitlyn is an AD carry with some very long ranges that also has a strong early game. She's great at sieging and zoning areas of the map and brings some good crowd control with her traps. She is, however, a very squishy champion, and she's not a hyper carry. She doesn't have an insane amount of true damage or a steroid in her kit like some other AD carries. For your runes, you want to go for the Fleet Footwork keystone and take Sorcery as your secondary. This will give you just a little bit of extra movement speed and lifesteal, but you could instead go for First Strike as well. If you don't need the extra movement speed and sustain, First Strike is great because you will get a little bit of extra damage and gold. For your normal summoner spells, you want to stick with Flash and Barrier, but you will want to swap to Flash and Cleanse instead if you're against a lot of crowd control or an Ashe AD carry. Caitlyn's basic attacks grant a stack, and if attacking in brush, she will get 2 instead. At 5 stacks, the next basic attack will grant a headshot. This will deal bonus damage and scales with your critical strike chance. Whenever an enemy is hit by one of your traps or your net, they will also give you a headshot, and your next attack will have a 1300 range. Caitlyn's Q ability is Piltover Peacemaker, and when activated, she'll fire a penetrating shot to the target that deals physical damage. After it hits one target, it will expand in width, but only deal 50% damage to enemies hit after. If one of these enemies, however, is revealed by a Yordle Snap Trap, they will take the full damage. Your W ability is Yordle Snap Trap, and this is your trapping ability. When activated, she drops a trap at the target area that arms after 1 second. This does have a stock system, and you can have either 3, 4, or 5 based on the rank of the ability. When an enemy hits the trap, they will be rooted for 1.5 seconds and revealed for 3 seconds. This, as previously mentioned, will grant your headshot and also double your attack range. Your E ability is your 90 caliber net. When activated, you'll fire a net in the target direction and move back 390 units. This deals magic damage to the first enemy hit and slows them by 50% for a second. You can cast other abilities while moving backwards, and this does grant your headshot. Caitlyn's ultimate is Ace in the Hole. When activated, she will lock onto the target enemy champion and channel for a second, which reveals herself and the enemy. After finished channeling, she'll fire a homing bolt towards that enemy, dealing physical damage, which scales off her critical strike chance. This does have a 3500 range, so you can use it from a very long distance. Also, keep in mind when using the ability that somebody else can go in the path and block it. For your skill order, you want to put a point into your ultimate at 6, 11, and 16, and then prioritize maxing your Q, followed by your W, and then your E. For your first combo, we have our quick trading combo. You first want to auto attack your target, hit them with your E ability, cast the Q during the animation, and auto attack again for the headshot. It's just a nice quick chunk of damage you can get on the enemy rather quickly. For your next combo, we add a trap. Start by trapping your enemy with your W, auto attack for the headshot, and then EQ again with an auto attack added in for another headshot. This will give you 2 different headshots which will deal a big chunk of damage to the enemy, and you can always follow up with your ultimate afterwards. Keep in mind this is much better when used on crowd control from your allies, since the trap does take a second to arm. For matchups, Caitlyn is very strong into low-range AD carries that struggle in the early game. Poke them as much as you can and reduce their farm as much as possible. She does, however, struggle into a bunch of mage matchups that can easily deal with her range. Champions that scale very well into the mid and late game can also give Caitlyn some trouble. Now, as for your items, you want to start with a Doran's Blade and a health potion. You'll want to work towards that core build as quick as you can, which consists of the Collector, Infinity Edge, and a Rapid Fire Cannon. While you're acquiring this core item build, you can pick up your boots, which are Berserker Greaves, at any point. For your 5th item, you probably want to pick up some armor penetration and get either Lord Dominik's Regards or Mortal Reminder if you need to Grievous Wound. Then for that last item, you can add some lifesteal with either the Bloodthirster or a Mercurial Scimitar if you need to break crowd controls, or you could just get a defensive and get a Guardian Angel. In the lane phase, you really want to press that advantage that Caitlyn does have. Use your high ranges and high early game damage to poke the enemy as you're farming. When you get your headshots from farming, try to get that damage onto your enemy. Shove your opponents under their tower and try to get tower plates. You will of course be vulnerable at this time, so make sure you keep your lane warded and trapped. In the mid and late game, you want to make sure you get your tower down and then rotate around the map. You're amazing at sieging down towers or just rotating and helping get objectives, so make sure you're doing that throughout the mid game. Caitlyn is a champion that falls off a little bit towards the later stages of the game, so make sure you're using your strong mid game to set yourself up for success. In teamfights, you're going to be playing as that traditional backline carry. Make sure you're in the backline of your team and hit targets on the front line that are squishiest. And that is everything I've got for Caitlyn. If you guys did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe, and consider joining the Discord as well. The link is down below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.